Here we are with Blake Beissel. Blake, for those people out there that don't know who you are and don't know about your high school career, let's give a quick recap of your high school career at Hastings High School.
Yes, I wrestled 5 years with the high school. I had a couple matches on varsity my 8th grade year. Wasn't the greatest though. I went about 2-6, but the highlight of that year was probably taking 4th at the 9th grade state tournament. It's pretty small, even at that, at 94 pounds. I was probably about 85, 86 pounds, gaining a bunch of weight to get just to the minimum weight just to be able to wrestle. Yeah, so that's pretty much it from 8th grade year, just a building year. It was a lot of the coaches were pretty nervous. Didn't know if it was a good idea, not a good idea, but I'd say it helped me in the long run. My freshman year, I finally started to grow a little bit. Was walking around about between 100 and 103 pounds, wrestling 106. Ended up going 33-3 that year, and then took 5th place at state. Kid that beat me in the first round at state ended up taking 3rd or 4th, and it was the COVID year, so if you lost your first round, the best you could do was 5th. So lost that heartbreaker, came back to 5th. Had a lot of really good wins though. I think I beat the kid that took 2nd and 3rd in AA state. Beat the kid that took 3rd twice. Kids that didn't even make it but were ranked ahead of me. Ended up beating them at sections and in the duels. So that was like a big confidence year for me, I'd say, where I finally realized like I really do love wrestling and I really do want to pursue this. And then we get into that summer, and that summer was also a big turning point for me. So I did freestyle and greco and made the junior duels team. I was in 16U, but I was in Florida with my family, so I had to go to junior duels, which was like all the older guys, and ended up doing pretty well at that. I don't remember my record exactly, but I think I made the all tournament team in greco. So greco or freestyle, probably greco. And then went to Fargo, wrestled 100 pounds, and that was the first time I ever became an All-American. Took 6th place there. It was pretty sweet. A lot of guys in that bracket now. I want to say 12 to 14 of them are wrestling Division I, so that's pretty awesome. It just shows like the depth that was in that tournament. But yeah, that was a big turning point for me, especially that tournament. Proved myself that I think I can compete with these guys here. So sophomore year comes around. Came into the year ranked 1st in the state based off of Fargo, and then I was the highest placer at state at 106. That year I started the year at 113. My brother slobbed in the 106-pound weight class. And then right around Christmas tournament, we flip-flopped. So I went down to 106. And oh wait, he did stay at 106. It was the COVID year. They let us keep an extra guy for the weight class. So took 2nd at that. I lost to actually my teammate, Brandon Rivari. He beat me in the Christmas tournament finals. And then the week after was the bi-state, and that's always a big tournament. But my brother was too small to wrestle 113. So I talked to the coaches, and we were like, I want my brother to go there, and I'm willing to bump up and wrestle. So I got to wrestle really tough 4-time Wisconsin state champ named Reed Spurley. He's wrestling at Wisconsin right now. Coach, I don't know if you remember this, but it was really bad bloody nose. And
Double nose plugs, and I think he
yeah,
had to do the full tape around the
yeah,
face here.
yeah, couldn't breathe, bleeding through the mask. Definitely a tough one. That one sticks with me still to this day. Yeah, he ended up beating me pretty tough. So those are my 2 losses that year. And then the state finals, I ended up beating my kid in overtime. Pretty sweet, pretty surreal. Felt like almost like a movie. Still like my greatest individual achievement. Nothing will ever top that first one. And then a lot of training after that. Had some setbacks. Fargo that year, I lost in the blood rounds to Nathan Desmond, who's wrestling at Penn State now. He's really tough. Yeah, so just never like shy away from the talent or the high level. That was always a big thing for me, is trying to get the best competition I can. That's only gonna make me better. Did that, and then junior year came around, and everyone knows we shocked the world that year, but there was a lot of factors that went into that. We had a lot of guys sacrifice a lot. Plenty of guys come over to my house all the time. working out, staying over to make weight because we knew we had something special that year, and we proved it. We failed a lot. We failed 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and every single time it made us stronger. Came back and ended up winning that team state title, and that still is the single greatest moment in my wrestling career. Nothing will ever top that. And then my second thing, I know I said my first state title, but going back to back with my brother in individual state finals was awesome. Especially after that, the team was actually it still gives me chills to this day thinking about it. It's like literally probably the greatest moment of my life. And then went into went into that year again, had a lot of setbacks. Didn't get where I wanted to at Fargo, lost to some tough kids. And then I started training for Super 32. And this is where the tournament I knew I was like, okay, I really want to prove myself here. Worked all off season. Day after Fargo, I was back practicing, trying to get ready for this tournament. Give a lot of credit to my coaches who stayed and helped me with everything, even if it was from weightlift to a wrestling practice to a run, everything. They all helped me get there. I got a Super 32, made the blood rounds, and on my birthday, lost in the blood round. So it was a bummer. Can't change it, won't change it because it shaped me who I was. Then going into the season, obviously, a lot of high hopes to be a 3-time state champion, the second one in school history behind Josh McClay, who I ended up following to Minnesota. He was a big role model for me, so that's why I'm here today. But yeah, a lot of, again, setbacks. Third at the Christmas tournament after winning it the year before. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Junior year, I won Christmas tournament and Bi-State, got the Bi-State Outstanding Wrestler. Christmas tournament comes around my senior year, and I lose a stunner in overtime to a kid who I beat 3 or 4 times the last 2 years. But great kid, one of my best friends to this day. We wrestles at Augustana now. Was from Wayzata, and just a great guy. And then Bi-State came around, and I won that. Took first at that. Won the Outstanding Wrestler again, which is pretty cool. And then state. Obviously, not what I wanted. I lost in overtime to the eventual runner-up. But one thing I took away from that tournament was that I am stronger than I thought I was. Coming back and fighting for third was super important to me, and just living with that the rest of my life, that I can come back from falling down. Just all those setbacks, just like I said, made me who I was, and I'm grateful for every single one of them, and wouldn't change a thing. I think it helped me. I was ready after that state tournament. I was ready just to be done until college, but wasn't even going to coach. And coach talked to me, and they said, "Why don't you coach freestyle? Go wrestle with the guys." So I did it, and I was just content with doing that. I was going to club practices once or twice a week, maybe. And then the state tournament comes around for freestyle and greco, and coaching that weekend and getting all passionate really showed how much I missed it, and just like how bad I wanted to get back on that mat. So I went to Northern Plains the next weekend, wrestled 126 pounds, and ended up taking third. Kid I beat in the bi-state finals, he ended up beating me, took me down the last second. Pretty nice single leg trip. Yeah, I took third, but again, going after state, I was like, could have been done, but I just knew that it wasn't worth it. You never want to live with not finishing out tournaments. Came back, took third, beat some really tough kids, which was really good. And then my coach at Minnesota Elite and then my coach now, Brandon Legum, both told me, they said, you got to realize this is, if with what you're saying, this is going to be your last tournament until you step in that college room and wrestle at the Bison Open your freshman year. So I wrestled at Fargo, and my best tournament I've ever had. Took third at nationals, which was really awesome. Didn't have the greatest match in the semis. Could have obviously wrestled better. That was the story the last year. So I could have reached my full potential, but I didn't. But like I said, wouldn't change it for a thing. I'm happy with where I am. It's in the past. Like, life goes on. Yeah, that pretty much recaps it.
Perfect. So you get recruited. You're golden goal for now. Let's get a recap of your redshirt freshman year that just took place this year.
Yeah. Got here at about end of August. Started up right away. We had campus practice for 2 weeks, then got right in season. Boy, was it a hard adjustment. You go from kicking butt in practice and having your toughest competitor be your brother to, shoot, I didn't get a takedown this week. It's pretty tough. I had to just learn to like get tough and win the little battles. It's not always about winning a practice. It's, dang, I got away today. Dang, I didn't give up a takedown that period. Like just the little battles that you got to realize it's not. One thing I wish I would have thought about more in high school is that it's not the end goal. It's the little things that lead up to it. Just recognizing the little battles I had. So was going through that. First tournament was the Bison Open. I ended up wrestling the first round a world team member for Team USA. His name was Ezekiel Witt. He wrestled at North Dakota State. Pretty tough kid, actually. He beat Tanner Jordan, who was an NCAA qualifier, beat Anthony Moulton, who has been a qualifier in the past. Really good wrestler. Yeah, so that match was, I think, 12-4 after the riding time for me, my favor. So that was a pretty cool one to win for your first match. And then I wrestled All-American Tanner Jordan from South Dakota State. And I was beating him for about 4 to 4.5 minutes of the match. And then, if anyone knows Tanner Jordan, he's super tough on top. So he got on top and he turned me a few times. I think I lost by 7 or 8, something like that. Maybe 8 or 9. But yeah, tough on top, but just showed that like these are grown men. These aren't high schoolers anymore. So a little bit of a wake up call. And then I was still pretty defeated about that loss. Like, should have had that one. And I ended up wrestling his backup, who's going to be starter for STSU this year. And he took it to me, to be honest with you. And but it's what I needed. It's not all sunshine and rainbows once you get to this high level. That's when I've been wanting back all season. I wish I could have saw him again, but he ended up getting injured after the Jackrabbit Open and got hurt. Some of my friends have from South Dakota, so hopefully next year I'll be able to wrestle up against it again. I think that'd be really fun. Just trying to get back at him. Great wrestler. The next weekend we went to South Dakota State for the Jackrabbit Open, and my first kid I had, I ended up takedown, so that tournament I took third at. So the two Jackrabbits, they both won their pools. They want to wrestle each other, so I wrestled for the true second. So I ended up taking third at that one. And then at my second tournament, I wrestled the first kid was from Air Force. I think I beat him like 5-1 or 7-2, something along those lines. Very tough kid. He was older than me, so he's been around the block. Second match was against Barrick Jordan, who was from Oklahoma. Very highly talented recruit coming out of high school. I think a Fargo champion. He beat me 11-4. Very tough kid, high pace. Like I said, just a lot of adjustments. Not grass ain't always green on the other side, so got to go through those battles to get through. And then I wrestled Kale Ritson from Nebraska for the third place match, and he took me down to my back right away. So I was down 7-0. And the end of the match, I had to just try to battle back the whole time. I ended up losing 11-6. He's a tough kid. Kale Smith, All-American this year. And then in the wrestle-off, Laritson actually beat him in the wrestle-off. So, yeah, very good competitor. Tough wrestler, scrappy. Yeah, just not really shying away from competition. I was a little nervous, obviously, right away. But it was just great for me to get right into it. Wrestling those tough kids, knowing what, okay, this is college wrestling. This is what it is. So starting the year 2-4, not the greatest record, but there's definitely some highs and some lows in those matches. And then my coaches say, we want you to go to the Parkside Open, which is Division II. A lot of people know Caden Henschel, the YouTuber. That's his school. So first round, I wrestled a kid from University of Illinois, the D1 school, and I ended up beating him in a wild match, 16-12. Yeah, kind of just not the greatest match ever, but battled through, got it done. Next match was a kid from Wisconsin, Madison. Wyatt Skeba was his name, and I beat him 4-1. got a takedown in the second period, I want to say, and then 2 escapes or escape apiece for each other. Third period, I wrestled St. Cloud State starter Connor Nobick, I think is how you say it. Was down 5-4 with about 30 seconds left. Got on our legs, scored, and rode him out for about 15 seconds. So that was a big win for me because he was ranked at the time like number 7 in the country for D2. So just proved myself like I am where I want to be. This kid's been around the block, and I was wrestling hard and just didn't stop wrestling. And then my favorite match of the year, second favorite match of the year, Shane Corrigan. He was All-American this year in Division 2. And finals match at his home tournament, ended up beating him 10-2 by a major. That was pretty cool, beating him. So can't complain about those matches. Definitely like some confidence boosters going into that, which led into my biggest match of the year. Looking at it from inside out now, or outside in, looking back and now that he's an All-American, Zan Fujit from Wisconsin, took 4th place Division 1 championships this year at 133 pounds. He beat me 8-4, and by the end of that match, he was like crawling back to the center. He was out of gas. I really took him into deep waters, and I was really proud of my performance. He was like number 12 in the country at the time and wrestled him really hard. Yeah, we had a little mishap with our 133 pounder. So coaches asked me if I want to step in, and I told them, yeah, like, why not? Got nothing to lose. So wrestled that one. And then after that, they said, okay, you're going to wrestle the Northwestern duel. And this kid was a 125 pounder last year, bumped to 133, and very high paced wrestler, wrestled really hard. It got to the third period. It was 8-6 with about 30 seconds left. I took a desperation shot. He scored on me. So it would have been 11-6. I got away 11-7, and then with 5 seconds left, I took another shot and he took me down. Score was 14-7, but realistically, it's closer what the score was, but still great opportunities for me to wrestle, even if it wasn't in my true weight class. We just super excited to represent the Gophers. It was really a dream come true, and that was my goal this year, was wrestle in a duel, and I was able to. Yeah.
Perfect. We got the spring coming up, and that's a huge season for freestyle and greco. I know with the Gopher Regional Training Center, you guys are probably training a lot of freestyle right now. I know the training probably never ends in college. So give us a preview of what the spring looks like, and then we can transition into what your goals are for the next 4 years of college as well.
Yeah. We got a week off after the NCAAs, and then we got right back into it. We're training for the U.S. Open, which I leave for next week. We're wrestling 57 kilograms in the U20 division. So really excited for that. I think we don't get to compete as much as a redshirt, so getting as many matches as possible is super, super important. So really excited for that. Excited to put my foot back on the line and wrestle against these tough guys. It's not so much for me about trying to make the world team and everything right away. Like, obviously that's the goal, but I just want to face the best guys I can, get the best competition I can, and ultimately wrestle the best I can. So if all those things come into factor, I think I can have a great tournament. But again, it's all on the training. It's all on myself, how I'm going to do it. Training for that, and then if that goes well, hopefully make the U20 World Team Trials. It'd be pretty cool to have a chance to make the World Team. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm training for right now. And then the next 4 years, I'm just planning to become the best wrestler I can, but more importantly, the best person I can in pursuing education. We have a really good transfer coming in, so hopefully I can learn from him. And if they call my name, I'll be ready to step in. Just developing the best wrestler I can be, and then waiting till it's my time and the coaches give me the nod. So could be next year, could be in 2 years, could be in 3 years, could be in 4 years. I never know. But I just know I'm in the right place for me, and that I'm going to become the best wrestler I can be here.
Perfect. Last thing for you then, Blake. Recently, you became the freestyle and greco coach here at Hastings High School. What got you into it, and how's it going so far? So give us a preview of what it's looking like with the high school boys that you're training.
Yeah. I'm doing the youth as well. I'll just cover the youth first. There's a smaller group. There's about 10 to 12 of them. Most of them are from Hastings, and there's a couple kids from Cottage Grove that are signed up. Really fun squad. They all love wrestling. They all love being there. Just super fun. They bring the energy. If I'm not feeling up for it, I'm like, wow, these guys are getting me pumped up, and they're only 8, 9, 10 years old. So they they do an awesome job. They work amazing. They work amazingly hard. They have great work ethic. There's a few leaders in there that I can think of right away. My Hastings boys, I think, are leaders in there that everyone looks up to are Anton Brown, Grayson McCrae, and Leo Gessner. And then we have a little star, I like to call him. His name's Corbin Lanik. He's from Cottage Grove. He started coming last year, and he bought into the freestyle and Greco thing. And I got him introduced to my club coach, Dakota Trom, and he's a good leader for us in the room. He retains everything like a sponge. He's a great hard worker, and I didn't even talk about the other three. He gets his work ethic and leadership from those other three, from Anton, Grayson, and Leo. Big, like, huge thanks to them. I think that they're third or fourth year doing freestyle Greco with me, so they've really developed a leadership role and are always trying to get better and helping other kids. Like Corbin, another kid I can mention right away is Maddox. He's a really hard worker. He's yeah, just like Corbin, just following those leaders and working really hard, getting better every single day. And then freestyle, we got a lot of guys coming in from Hastings. I want to say about 15 to 20 guys coming in consistently, and then another 4 or 5 that come in when they can. They just come in, work hard every single day. We have fun because it's the off season, but we have fun when we want to, but we get really focused when we need to. So all the guys you think of that you saw this year that are still coming back, my brother Trey, Beckett, Edstrom, Sully McNamara, Donovan Ward, Casey Esterby, Elijah Christopher, Preston McCrae. That's just to name a few. I can name more. Oh, Mark Sabota. A lot of the names that you guys see, and then a lot of guys that you may not have heard of yet that are they're gonna be good coming up soon. They're working really hard. We also have some out of town kids coming in. We got some Cottage Grove kids coming in, some Two Rivers kids, some Eastridge, some kids from Apple Valley, Wayzata, Farmington, Shakopee. A big thing that I really preach is getting the best competition for you, because the Hastings people, they see each other every single day during the season. So if they can create these friendships and build these bonds with these guys and grind with each other and work really hard, all of them are gonna see success. So it's bigger than just Hastings. Obviously, Hastings is my number one, but just helping everyone get better is like my big thing. I'm really looking forward to coaching at State and Northern Plains this year. Me and my teammate Jack Nelson are coaching, and we get pretty into it. The Apple Valley and Eastridge tournament, there's a couple times where the gym was pretty quiet and I'm screaming, so it was kind of had to chill out a little bit. But yeah, I get really into it. I care a lot about these kids. I care about their development. So the reason why I came back there, it's not for me at all. It's 100% for them.
Perfect. One thing that I did forget to ask you here, you touched on it a little bit. At one point there, you were talking about in college, going a whole month, maybe a week or so, many practices at least, we'll say, without a takedown, maybe scoring points or things like that. And then you talked about winning the little battles. But I want to hear about the differences between high school and college. Obviously, you mentioned you're a multi-time state place winner individually. Our team won the state championship. So obviously we had a pretty tough high school room, but then when you transition from the high school room to the college room, there obviously are a lot of differences. So talk about the differences between high school and college.
Yeah, going in, nobody asks you how many times you won state. Everyone knows you're there for a reason. They know you're there to work hard. They know you're there because the coaches believe in you and they trust in you to make their program better. And at the end of the day, it's like a business. It's like a job. You got to fight to get that starting spot. They don't just hand it to anybody. But the biggest things that I would say are definitely hardest are the positioning. If you get slightly out of position, you're going to get taken down. If your head and hands touch the mat, people are going to run behind you. People get on top of you. They're going to ride you as hard as they can. There's no cuts in college wrestling. Everything's a fight. Top wrestling's really hard. It's hard to keep these guys down. They're all very good. But the biggest thing is the mental. Like I said, you got to be able to like shut off your brain and just realize that you're winning little battles. That was a big thing for me because right away when I was coming in, I was like sitting on the wall. I'm like, dang, like when am I going to score a freaking point? me, and is it even gonna be this year? And it took a long time. There was I didn't take down my college coach until last week. That was my first time ever getting a takedown on him. I wrestle him every single week, multiple days a week, pretty often. Getting that, just to get a little battle. But it's not just about that. It's, okay, my coach wanted me to work on getting my hands into this tie. And I got into that tie, and it's like, okay, I'm getting a little bit better, getting a little bit better. I just down blocked that shot. That's a win for me. It's just the positioning and just being able to wrestle through positions and the mat wrestling, just everything just levels higher. And one thing I told myself is, yes, I'm getting better in this position, but I can't stop there. You know what I mean? You can never be too good in any position because there's always going to be someone that can out wrestle you or out scramble you in that position. So just bettering your craft every single day in every single position, because there is no cheat code to wrestling. The only way you can do it is by beating your opponent by more points. There's nothing you can do. You got to put your toe on the line and just wrestle as hard as you can. Focus on the little battles. Positioning wins. Basics win. That's another big thing too. Is I used to dive over top and try to scramble, and my coach was like, "No, you got to sprawl. Just sprawl." So, for no joke, 2 months probably after every single practice, I worked on sprawling. Like the most basic defense in wrestling, I worked on it for 2 months straight. And I was like, in college, I should be maybe learning some higher level stuff, but no, I was like sprawling, sprawling, sprawling. That's all it was. And so you think it's going to be this one big move that's going to be a game changer for you, but at the end of the day, it's falling back onto what you learned when you were in your first month, 2 months, year of wrestling. So, yeah.
Perfect. Blake, that's all I got for you tonight. Anything else you want to get off your chest tonight? Any shout outs you want to give? Anything that you want to talk about when it comes to your high school career, your college career so far? Like I said, it's your time and you could go for it.
Yeah. My biggest thing is that what I have preached is out of season wrestlers make in season champions. So for those people who want to go to that next level and the ones that want to have those accomplishments that I have achieved, you have to wrestle more than just in the season. Go to those extra practices. It's going to be so much worth it. Go find these clubs, go find these partners, go wrestle. There's the only secret to being better at wrestling is to wrestle. It doesn't happen anywhere else. You can be as strong as you want. You can be as fast as you want. You can be as good a condition you want. But if you can't wrestle, you're not going to jump levels. You know what I mean? So get to the practices, keep wrestling. There's a community in Hastings that is strong. Even if you aren't from Hastings, just it's a welcoming community. You can come wrestle whenever you want. But yeah, just like I said, just always chase to get more in. It's never going to hurt you. You're never going to regret you're never going to regret doing too much. So that's my thing.
Perfect. Thanks, Blake.